It is officially day 39 of the government shutdown. So let's talk about what happened on Capitol Hill yesterday and what's going to happen today. And just for some context, my name is Camila. I'm a political reporter based in DC, and I've been covering this government shutdown every single day. My little coworker is with his abuela and all of his aunts right now. So I was like, okay, let me sneak out the house really quick and give you guys a quick update. So yesterday, the Senate tried to pass a bill that would pay off federal workers. They really thought at the time that they would get enough votes to pass because the bill was introduced by a Republican Senator, Ron Johnson, and it was controversial in the past because it would only consider paying federal workers that were deemed essential, meaning that they're required to go into work and they're not getting paid, but excluded paying furloughed worker. And so basically he amended this bill so it could pay all federal workers, but it failed to get enough votes. Now, a lot of Democrats, mostly all Democrats except 3, didn't support the bill, and kind of want to ask why. CNN got a quote and it said, "We cannot leave any Americans behind in this critical moment. We must reopen all of the government and prevent Americans' costs from spiking because of Republican inaction." It was basically trying to say, okay, we're not going to pass this bill to pay all federal workers because it's not addressing the bigger issue here, and that is around these Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies. Democrats went on further and said, hey, we will only support a proposal to fund the government or to reopen it only unless it includes language that gives these subsidies a 1-year extension, being like, hey, they're going to last for another year, because they're hoping that within that time they can find a more like a longer term solution within that year period. Senate Republicans threw cold water on my head and said, hey, we're still adamant about where we stand on this issue, and that is we do not want to address any of the healthcare issues until the government is reopened, and then let's sit down and let's talk, let's try to vote on it. But Democrats are like, we just really don't take you guys at your word when you guys say that you want to address this issue, and we're scared that if we give you the votes in order to pass a bill to fund the government, then there will be less urgency to address this urgent matter. Now, I talked about what happened yesterday, but let's talk about what's happening today. Essentially, the House is still out. They have now been out of session since September 19th. Now, the Senate side today, they're coming back on Capitol Hill, and we're told, okay, the vote's going to take place. And they're like, at this point, we really don't know, because it almost feels like we're kind of backsliding now, right? Like, we had all these bipartisan talks. We were feeling very optimistic. And somehow now, no talks are being made. Also, you guys should see this right now. I'm telling you, all the roosters are just... And that's where things stand right now. But I think it's really important that everybody understands what's happening in real time and why these negotiations that were almost these bipartisan talks that were like ramping up speed have now completely slowed down. Another thing to be mindful of is flight cancellations. We've now been hearing so many statements from the FAA about how they're canceling hundreds